For that, we'll get you all the way up to 3%. About 90% of the people get 3%, and that's because, as you guys know, the market's crazy. So that hasn't been an issue. When the market changes, we'll kind of reconfigure, make sure you guys are getting your fair share. But in most cases, it hasn't been a problem. So you can expect, if you say, "Hey, Tony, I know you're saying 99,000, but I can get you 110," that 3% is not a problem. If you double in the property, we're not going to ask you for a discount.
At what point is that determined?
It's all preset up front. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because bottom line, we know we're talking 3-4 months before we're going to hit the market, or even shorter than that. So we understand the market from that perspective.
Right.
If we're coming into Christmas, then kind of you got to be a little bit more strategic. But I have a really good track record of hitting my price points, and just experience, right? But lately, I've been missing everything for about 20 to 30,000 higher.
Okay.
It's crazy. So it's a good thing, but it's still crazy.
What are your boundaries?
Location-wise, right now we're pretty much in the 4 counties here local. We're actually expanding. Has anybody heard of G.J. Gardner? Anybody? Okay.
Builder?
So yeah, exactly. So they are the largest individual franchise builders in the world. They do $100 billion a year, which is ridiculous, right? Nobody's heard of them. But what they do is they go out and train contractors how to be entrepreneurs. And we actually have a partnership for them to actually be our contractors. Our challenge, guys, especially as the market gets heated up, our contractors are getting worse and worse and worse. And you know what? They're taking other jobs. And the guys that are able to go out and hit the price points, they're really expensive. And because we're running low margins, we're running mom and pop shops. These guys are good, but they can only do 1 or 2 at a time. So what we've done is we created a partnership with a very large builder that has amazing discounts through Home Depot. Their cost value is roughly about the same as my mom and pop shop guy, but they're getting it out a lot quicker. And now we're talking actually partnerships in about 5-6 states right now. We're working on that. It's a big endeavor for us to take on, but we're going to be able to get there, and it's also going to open up opportunities here local to do development that we stay away from a timing perspective, which are the additions, big additions. They're talking about the granny flat law that came out, the federal law that requires the cities, municipalities to accept, as long as you're within the right parameters and setbacks. They cannot stop you from doing a granny flat. We have about 6 plans that were already valued engineered. It's either a double garage with a one on top. They're about 1,200, 8 to 1,200, 3 bedrooms, really, really nice and very quick and inexpensive to drop. So that's the type of market that we're being forced to go to. As you guys know, when market changes, it gets tighter and tighter. We got to be very innovative and have the right partners to make sure that we're able to take on that type of market. So that is a huge, huge opportunity. So that's going to be the next 2-3 months. I did for a long time, and I sold a little early. Right now, the market, as you guys know, it's a little bit interesting. So right now, we are not, but we do. And that's part of the big hedge funds. When there's a right opportunity, we hold, and then we buy low, sell high approach. But right now, we're not holding anything. We don't believe that we're going to have enough appreciation to hedge on that type of market right now.
In your rehab, do you ever do any additional add square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms?
We do. I was talking a little bit about that earlier. The issue with that is our timing, and since we are able to stay with the low margins, because if you look at a 12% return on investment on a 4-month project, your yield on a yearly basis is 39%. It's pretty decent. But you have to get in and get out. As we expand the time of construction, we have to expand the return on investment. So as long as it makes sense, we'll take it. People say, would you do this, would you do that? We'll do anything that makes sense. I was just sharing, we did one in Palos Verdes. That was a little cha-ching. We did one in Palos Verdes. I did not know that the homeowner associations, their motto is, we're not happy until you're not happy. And a year to get out of planning. Ridiculous. So things like that you kind of get into, you just have to make sure that we keep all those things in consideration and adjust the return on investment.
Do you also work with multi-units?
We do a little bit. There's a couple of our partners that actually do a really good job on those, and we let them. What we do is we invest into the property, and they let them focus. Sometimes they do keep some of those as well, but what they do is they stabilize and then they sell out. So
when they keep them, how does that bonus flex? Do we become a partner in that?
Good question. No, but it's a good question. No, it depends. In most cases, if that's something, we'll tell you our intention up front. We'll say, hey, listen, this is a keeper. This is we're keeping. We're going to partner up with this guy or that guy. And as you guys work with us, you guys will understand. I would probably say it takes about 2 to 3 deals for you guys to really get it and have communication with our guys to sit there and understand exactly what we see or why we see. We share our screens. As Sergio say, we'll give you access to our technology the more we do. So from that perspective, you'll understand and go on the computer and go like, okay, I see what they're looking at. And Tony, listen, you missed the comp. The guy just put it in the market. He's got 8 offers. I know him. He's my buddy. You can get 10 more, and then we can make those adjustments and bring up the price. These guys are conservative. I'm the one that pushes. I don't mind pushing as long as it makes sense. We'll push values. Yeah. So. Apartments. We own apartmentbuyers.co, not .com. We're working on that one. That's a huge hedge fund that is asking me to go into that venture. To be honest with you, my experience for apartments is green. So I know those guys buy a lot of stuff. So if there's an opportunity, we'll pass it to them. For me right now, I'm just staying for what we know, and it seems to work better. Every time I go out in other ventures, then we start losing return on investment. Diminishing returns is the word. We do. We have what we call the development partner. We used to take small investors, people that would give us capital, just for us to invest. The reality, guys, as you guys know, there's a lot of money out there. We don't need money. We got plenty of money. We can pretty much buy anything. What we're looking for is a development partner which is bringing value, a value-add investor. What does that look like for us? Somebody's bringing a few dollars. We have really high leverage for our capital. Once we buy cash, we're able to get 90% out. So if I have a $500,000 total investment, I got $50,000 out of my pocket, which is not a lot. But I'm not going to go out there and let somebody give me $50,000 and us do all the work, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to go and pay you, 8-9% on your money. It's not worth it for you. And for us, I'd rather go borrow the money from the big guys, right? So the partnerships are based on, hey, I got a property, Tony. It makes sense. I'm willing to put a few dollars, and I'm going to go out there and help you manage the construction. That is our challenge right now, is the construction. So from that perspective, we'll bring our process, our systems. You can bring the property if it's yours or somebody else's. We'll say, hey, here's the dollars, and we're splitting deals with people. As long as you become a resource all day long. And that's what our partnership programs are look like. That's the other people are willing to buy. We have a guy that's all cash. He's sitting on a lot of money. The guy's conservative. He says, hey, listen, I'll buy something that makes a little bit less money. And that's where we're able to say, hey, this doesn't fit us. And this guy will take it down under our name, and he'll process it out for us. So depending on the situation, but yes, we do that. So. So the co-branding is something that we want to sit down with you guys individually. What that means is that if we're able to, like the gentleman's questions about a probate. If you have a group of attorneys and you're going to go sit down with them, I'll put money out for it. If you want to go out and go after seller direct, that we know it's going to yield a high return of distressed properties like short sales and things like that, it makes sense. If you're saying, hey, listen, I'm going to go Beverly Hills $5 million listings plus, it's just not going to fit our model. The co-branding part is not necessarily that we need to be recognized, because even though I'm a broker, I don't list stuff for anybody else. It just everything is internal if we have to list it. But the marketing is something for you to go out and put your name out on a farm, and then try to get those people. So, and that would be individual. Like I said, that's really the part, guys. If you're going to take away one thing, give us an opportunity to sit down with you guys. We'll throw some money at it, and that's what's going to build the strongest relationships. Like I said, if you guys come here, have lunch, and then just say, hey, great presentation, that's cool technology, you know, it's about the relationship. So, somebody else had a question? Yes, sir.
So, a couple times the founders come on. Clearly, you guys are getting all listings. If you're not looking for stuff that's just off the market, how is what you're getting, which is our data?
Sure.
How's that going to be? What do we bring to the table?
Very good question, and we had that question. Somebody else, when they saw the machine, like a few minutes into the presentation, we heard them say, "So what do you need us for?" Right? The reality is relationship, guys. I can be flash, get in there, have the best looking, no contingency offer. If you guys know the agent better, you're probably going to beat us out. So relationships are number one for us right now. We know that. When I designed the machine about 5 years ago, I kept on telling these people, this is not a deal finding machine. This is a relationship building machine. It's about the relationships. Every time we send you guys an offer, based on your communication, what you guys say, what you guys are requiring us to do, we keep track of it. We know how many transactions you guys do, your averages and things like that, because we want to work with people and know what they're doing. The same thing for you guys. You want to understand, run a title on us. We got just a ton of properties. So back to your question is relationships. That's no technology, nothing's ever going to beat that. So that's why we're investing a lot of our time and efforts into this type of face-to-face, one-on-one relationship. So.
You mentioned something about the short sale. Did I hear something about appraiser? Did you have an appraiser to? My question, I guess, is what kind of additional help you can give the agent to make sure that the short sale goes through?
So, as you guys recall, the short sales were huge. I volunteered in a nonprofit for many, many years, Homestrong USA. I don't know if you guys heard of it. They're part of the Keep Your Home California program. So from that perspective, we can help you guys go out and reach out to the consumer and help them with the relocation. There's money to be given. There's tools for these people. Our idea is if you know that somebody's losing their house, let's try to keep them there first. Keep our market, right? And then if the opportunity is where they have to get rid of the property, then obviously you get the listing. Now we have to make a case. What's the case? The lender has to have the responsibility to the servicer that says, I've done my best and I sold this asset for this value because of this. What is this? Conditions and value. So whenever the bank needs to know what the property's worth, we're not going to go out there and send you a lowball appraisal. It's not going to work. It's here's the appraisal, here's the itemized list of the construction, not just one sheet that says $800,000 to fix a small little house, right? It makes sense, and we can back it up. So we'll provide you a licensed contractor to bid the property. If you need to, we can do that as well, and we'll provide you with an actual appraisal on our dime. We'll pay that. So it helps out, and then we can make a case. So, and it works really well. But again, not every property. We get properties that are just too nice, and it's just not going to work. So. We don't like to waste time on stuff like that. So, any other questions, guys?
Earlier you mentioned I think Sergio mentioned railroads and the avenues. Do you stay away from properties that are near the railroads or right behind?
You know what? There's the magic one, the one that just obsolescence is corner lot on a busy street with a liquor store across the street. I mean, that's just magic. It's not going anywhere. It's going to sit there. So it's not that we don't buy them. We just make sure that we understand the adjustments. For example, the ones that are really tough are when you have a really nice area with a really nice property that is sitting on a busy street and there's absolutely no comps on that street. Right. That is tough. Yeah, because you know what, guys? Sometimes that street means $5,000 less, and sometimes it means $100,000 less. And unless you have a proven track of close, it's very difficult. And the information that we follow and the process we do, I mean, we're really good at values. That's something that we're able to. And if we don't understand the value, we go to you guys. You guys are the expert. One of the reasons we're very good is because we understand what we don't know. If I don't know that area, we're going to call that agent. We're going to have the people that understand the market. Big Bear. Big Bear. If you buy on that side of the slope that is wrong, watch out. 500. I mean, 500,000 turns to 350. So, yeah. So I've learned that the hard way. So, we have a special guest here. He's going to talk a little bit about the marketing, the branding. He does a lot of the awesome acting that we did here for us. He does all our productions as well. So John Reyes, I'm sure you guys know him. He's from Social Networks, and he's going to help us out. He's put together some marketing plans specific to regular sales for us, also for short sales. His office is here. We've been working with him. Great staff. Super cool guy. He does a lot of speaking. I'm sure you guys have seen him before. So, John.
So, yeah, good afternoon, everybody. All right, so good afternoon, everybody. How do you not get excited about lunch at Fleming's? So what I wanted to share with you is that we've been working with Investnotics to be able to put together a marketing program platform that basically is going to be able to empower you to go on out and to be able to get the deals that aren't even on the market right now. And to give you an example, we know that people are more obsessed with their cell phones today than ever before, right? Like, there's no question about it. We're right here at the Victoria Gardens. I do trainings here at the Apple retail stores, and I actually do them throughout all of Southern California. I've been doing a ton of Apple trainings. I used to do them just for realtors, but now I'm actually doing them for business owners. So you have doctors in there, you have attorneys in there, dentists, you have all different types of professionals, and they're all obsessed or wanting to learn the same thing. Then Facebook thing can actually help you generate money. So if you guys want to be able to have more opportunities to get in front of people that own homes, that are in a position where they need a quick or fast sale, then what we're doing is we're going to be providing the marketing collateral. We're building out landing pages that are proving to be super effective. We're creating video content that speaks very clearly, gives a very concise message to the consumer. And we're targeting through Facebook. And if somebody actually clicks on an ad because they have some interest in selling their home, or these are the top 3 tips that you should be aware of if you're having financial troubles or financial problems making your mortgage payment. The moment that they go to a landing page, we deliver to them a very concise message, and then when they're on TMZ.com or on CNN, your ads are following them. You're offering additional education. So we're essentially teaming up or partnering with Investnotics to be able to provide these very resources for you, and I don't know if you've given them insight in terms of how we're going to be doing this, but I wanted to give you guys the knowledge that video marketing, landing pages, effective Facebook advertising, and Google retargeting is really, when I say a game changer, it's a game changer. I had a client right now that I just spoke to out of Orange County. He's doing a campaign, and he has 3 clients that were originated just over the weekend. And the quality of leads are really good. If you guys are familiar, and if you're on Facebook, and if you check out some of the ads, there are ads that you can tap on right now, and just with one touch, your name, your email address, and your phone number is automatically entered. So all you need to do is press OK, and then that information goes directly to the company. Have you guys seen those yet?
Yep.
So some people haven't, some people have. They're super new, maybe within months. But here's the psychology behind it. What the data has shown is that more people are willing to give you their info that way, and you get their cell phone number, because it's less steps. They're not having to type in their information. And we know that technology makes us smarter, but it also makes us more lazy. So if we actually have to type in our name and our email address, we might be less willing to offer that information. There's a deal in the works right now that I'm working with Tony and Investnotics, and it's a phenomenal one. It's one that's in our SoCal area. It's in a super desirable area, and I think it has the opportunity to yield a huge return. And that all came about by these different types of marketing methods that I'm talking to you about. And I spoke directly with the seller, and she was super impressed with the fact that she was able to be online at 12 midnight, she was able to be online at 7 in the morning, and on her own time, she was able to learn more about the information that makes you so valuable. You have the insight, it's just about sharing. If you're able to share more information, then you become an even more powerful resource to people, because you need to establish yourself as the authority. And there's a lot of realtors in Southern California, right? I mean, there's a lot of realtors. Within a 10-mile radius, I think you have 10,000 licensed realtors. Within a 20-mile radius, you have 20,000 plus licensed realtors. And the exciting thing for us as a company is that not only are there a lot of you, But Facebook is constantly changing its platform. Just today, they just changed something on the phone. If you guys are looking on your mobile phone, you'll probably notice that there's a different look in the way that you can even post. That's new changes. So the changes for us, it's job security. But for you, it's opportunity. So I just wanted to make sure that I shared that with all of you. And in terms of, again, offerings, we're putting together landing pages to deliver your message, video content to effectively deliver the message to consumers, and then just making it easy for them to be able to follow up with you. One of the most challenging issues that we're having with realtors right now is that if you get an online lead, it's not the same as if you're speaking to somebody on the phone. And I see a lot of realtors missing out on this. I had 7 leads generated for a realtor in Los Alamitos, and her conversion rate was 0. She did not convert one of those leads. And a big part of it is that normally if you get a digital lead, if somebody inquires about your post, if you go immediately for the close and you say, well, what time can I call you? It's a bit of a turnoff. So I would just advise, if you guys are generating any online leads yourself, have a conversation with somebody first, make them feel comfortable. And everybody in this room, if you're a professional realtor, you should already have a video that introduces you, just like Tony and his company has. You should have a 30-second, 75-second video. Because now as you're communicating with people digitally, you send them that video, and your conversion rate will shoot through the roof, because now all of a sudden you go from being a realtor, which at that point you really mean nothing to that person. And it's no disrespect to you, they just don't know you. They haven't heard your voice, they haven't heard your story. So my point in mentioning this to you is that in partnership with Investnotic, we can help you generate leads, but then it's on you to convert those leads. And I want to just be able to give you the game plan, the very things that are generating tons of deals for us right now. And I'm really excited about the opportunity to be in this business and at this time. I've been in this industry for 13 years now, and I've never once seen an opportunity where you can take a brand new realtor, or you can take an agent middle of the road, or you can take somebody who's already really successful and then just apply the very things that I'm talking to you about and be able to take your business to that next level. From everything that I mentioned, Tony, is there anything else that you want to be?
No. The ideas I mentioned, guys, it's not just us coming up with ideas and trying to see if they work. We're using the right partnerships. So the idea is if we sit down with you guys and you say, hey, listen, this is working for me, we'll bring in John, we'll come up with a plan, we'll start throwing dollars at it, and that's really what's important. So you guys know the resources for us is the right partnerships, including you guys' participation and effort into this. I mean, we can throw all the money in the world. If we're not following through, if we're not doing, I always believe there's no magic pill. It's just a follow through, you have a good business, and it's going to work. So that's it, John. So I appreciate it. He's going to be the one that's going to be managing the ads for the winner of the $5,000. So it's going to be a really neat test for us to be able to go out there and not only see what...
That's going to be huge.
I'm excited.
Our company is super excited about that. And having the opportunity to have worked with Tony and producing deals, I know that you've been able to see actually how it works. I'm excited for whoever ends up getting that, because it will give us an opportunity to pour so much into you, from the video content to the online pages, the lead pages, the landing pages, to actually doing it for you, because we're not just giving it to you. We'll actually be setting it up for you. We'll be the ones that are kicking it into gear and then advising you along the way of what's working, what's not, how do we make a few adjustments. And then, of course, bottom line, I want to make sure that Tony's getting the value out of this relationship, that you're getting the value. So if we need to offer you additional guidance on why you're not converting these leads, we'll be able to do so as well. The tip that I'll give you is that speed matters more than ever. If somebody responds to your Facebook ad, if you decide to wait 24 hours to respond to that client, you've pretty much lost the opportunity, because people, they expect. And it doesn't mean you need to be always tied to your phone. Check it in the morning before you go to lunch. Check it again when you come back from lunch. Take another look at it. Maybe around middle of the day, 3 o'clock, take one more look at your phone. It is work. And when we look at Facebook, you'll hear people say, oh, you know what, I don't want to play around with Facebook. It's really not about playing. It converts legitimate business. And one of your best opportunities is even through your listings. When you guys get listings through this program, this platform, we have listings that are generating 30, 40 leads right now, legit leads. And I have one realtor that produced 6 buyers in one listing off of one ad campaign that him out of his own pocket, he pumped $100 paying Facebook for the ad. So 6 transactions that went to his lender, brought in the loan documentation. I don't know of anybody else that's producing results like this at all. So, again, it gets me excited just because we're doing it on a constant basis. So thank you very much, guys. Here, let me give you, if you guys have your numbers up, your phones up, I'm going to give you my cell phone number. You can send me a text, and then what I'd be more than happy to do is to send you a text back and just shoot you on over a couple of examples of what I'm talking about. So my number is 909-917-5567. 909-917-5567. If you shoot me your contact info, then I'll get you some information back. So thank you very much, guys, and have a great rest of the afternoon.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. Are you going to hang out for lunch, or you got it?
No, I'm
you got it
gonna
right.
go back.
Okay. Thank you so much. I
Okay.
appreciate it. All right, guys. So they're starting to bring us the food. John had to run. He did me a favor to show up. He had a couple of things to do today, and I just want to make sure you guys met John. Like I said, great guy. He's been helping us a lot. And there's other questions. I want to make sure that I answer all the questions as you guys are eating. Yes.
So you had a question. So you said you are working inland Orange County in LA?
Right. Anything within a 50-mile radius is kind of what we call our backyard. So we just picked one up in Simi Valley. So it's far. It's really hard. 2.5 some hours without traffic. So we'll pick it up anywhere it makes sense. And like I said, as we're expanding, we're getting partnerships, and more importantly, the right people in the right location will continue to expand as well.
And then I wanted to go back to what you mentioned on how your system switching and you're automatically getting offers out. You have an entire staff doing that. And going back to how we're bringing value. So are you going to help us, obviously handpick from the relationships that you're setting up to set up some kind of marketing strategy where we can be bringing deals that we're not seeing? Is that what the main goal is? Or?
That's exactly it. Yeah, because what happened is the off-market deals are the ones that are quickest and easiest for us. Once they hit the MLS, guys, obviously it's a little bit more difficult for us to compete, especially if you got crazy people jumping over each other, as you guys know. But those are the ones to work at. And in cases, it's also very conditional. If you have a good listing, and if it's in good condition, the reality, I'm not going to be your buyer. It's that person that says, I need out, my foreclosure's in two weeks, they're going to kick me out. That's where we come in and we can work with you. So ideally, but it's
really like those houses that are going to need your attention, that are going to need
exactly.
They come up from your partner with that.
Everything we buy, guys, it's all new windows, new kitchens. Our typical stat. Our average purchase price is $427,000. It's a 1953 home that's 1,600 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths that needs a roof, plumbing, electrical, windows. Otherwise, those houses are not going to be cheap enough for us to buy them and improve them to the point of value. So that's really the property. Sometimes we get properties that the agents send to us, and they're just not a good opportunity. What we do is we actually evaluate the property, and we'll send you a video of why we think the property is not worth it, or it just doesn't fit the parameters. So you start understanding our points, and it'll make more sense, because ultimately it's not what you guys send us, is what we can close. So we'll work with you guys, and you guys know what a flip looks like. It's I tell people, you walk in and it smells really bad, and my friend says, what's that smell? Money. So that's our best property. So thank you. So the ones that work very well is where if you have, say for example, somebody in the office has a good opportunity, right? We're jumping on it. We're trying to get to that agent. He's not returning calls. We'll tell you, hey, listen, we already made a connection with that agent. We think we can put it together, or in most cases, we'll move out of the way. And as long as that agent understands, if I call you, right, you're the listing agent, and you don't know me. You don't know if I can perform. Everybody's promising you the same thing. So if we have another agent on the side that can say, hey, I know Tony. They're legit. They can make it happen. Then we'll connect you guys. So from that perspective, if we're able to make that connection with the relationship, is great. If you don't know the person, we're already in contact, we'll let you know right away and say, hey, listen, we already opened this property a few hours ago. We're already in contact. So you'll know right away. And like I said, it's not just going to be us telling you. We'll send you proof of when we opened it. So, good question. Yes, sir.
On that rehab that you just mentioned, what is your average per square foot cost for your rehab?
So our numbers, we're about $26.50 per foot, and it is based on a regular rehab. That does not include roof, septic, air conditioning, and roof, septic, foundation. So that would be if I'm walking into a house that just needs to be updated, bathrooms, kitchens, paint, carpet, flooring, windows. That's about $27 a foot. It used to be 20. That's $27.50, and it's just an overall cost of labor and everything else. When we were buying in 2009, I mean, everything was cheap. The houses were cheap. The rehab was cheap, but there was no buyers, right? So there's a lot of property. There's no buyers. There's no properties. There's a lot of buyers. So we're always struggling either way. It's never easy, guys. You always have to fight for it.
A little off subject. Do you have a team that goes to the courthouse? Or no, you don't do that?
I used to do, the question is, do we go? Yeah. So the question is, do we buy it through the courthouse? We have. I actually know the process very well. It's a difficult process. You need a lot of people out there. It's very risky if you don't have the right team. We know the process. I haven't bought anything in the courthouse for a long time. And for me, that's where the big guys buy.
Right.
And they're able to hedge stuff, and their money's, hedge fund, free money in a sense. So it's hard to compete with those guys. And they take a lot of hits, too. Like, I'm sure everybody knows Paulie Watts. They buy a lot of stuff through the auctions, right? And I also see stuff that they buy that I'm like, why are you guys paying retail for junk?
That's true.
Plus having to evict people, and it gets messy.
Just a question.
Yeah. No, but opportunity for us is not necessarily a one place or one process. It's where it is. So we'll follow it. So, anybody else? Any other good questions? No, that's it. Okay, guys. Well, enjoy. This is one of my favorite steakhouses, so I'm glad you guys can enjoy a good steak. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. There you go. Mm-hmm.